Welcome into the Goodfellas Fantasy Football Show. We are here. This is your late night crew for all your waivers, your trades, your winning moves. We're live every Tuesday. Make sure you give the channel a like, a subscribe, a follow, even. I'm joined by my good people here, Mr. Thermnation, Mr. B. How's it going,
What's
gentlemen?
up, fellas? There you go.
Philly,
Hey, the
Philly.
season's
Oh wait,
almost here, so everybody's about to bring out the
Philly.
paraphernalia. Um,
Paraphernalia always out in my
Paraphernalia
house.
is out. The season is right around the corner. We have about really one more weekend left before everybody kind of heads into their drafts. We're going to be here to help you out with those drafts. So we're going to do an episode today pointing out what we titled the episode, right? We're going to look at sleepers, we're going to look at busts, and we're going to look at people that are going to return on their ADP value. Those are going to be your best bets for this year. We'll let you know who we think is going to actually probably be people to avoid in this year. Next week, we'll do a live mock draft for you all as well, just so you can see kind of how we would undergo some of these situations before you head into the weekend of your fantasy drafts to where you're going to dominate your leagues because you listen to your boys. First, how's it going, fellas? Thermnation is here. B is here. We're going to jump right into it, right? So, we're thinking about round one. A name that's coming up quite often is really a rookie. And we've had rookies in past. We just have to understand how these rookies are going to respond this year. So Ashton Genty is currently sitting at about average draft position, pick 10, right? Right before that turn. Both yawned. All right, so we got we got
No,
we
I
got
burnt, so
Ashton
I didn't yawn.
Genty hate right now, right?
No,
Is
I
that
love
where we're going
Genty.
at? Oh, okay. So right now we've seen limited preseason action, right? He was a bowling ball in San Francisco. Do you think he's going to return on that pick slot number 10? I'll throw it over to B first. Ashton Genty, what do we think?
I think so. And honestly, I got the 11th pick, and he could be a potential play for
Target?
me. So potential depends on who's there.
Hey, that's a good target at the end at the beginning of that turn. Rookies have typically it's been hit or miss. But typically the wide receiver rookies are pretty much returned on value every year. The rookie running backs typically are in good situations. They can return some value. Therm, how do you feel about Ashton Genty in the first?
I mean, I wouldn't do it, but it's cool for other people. But I wouldn't do it. I don't think he's gonna be hot shot out the gate. Why?
Okay.
I don't like Oakland's. I'm sorry. I don't like Las Vegas offensive
Mm,
line. I don't. So
okay.
there it is.
I think it's just a lot of opportunity there, but I would be cautious to use my very first pick, my anchor, right, at as a rookie running back for kind of like a shaky offense that we don't know what it's going to be yet, right? I don't think they've had a fantasy relevant running back in quite some time in Vegas.
Josh
That was
Jacobs.
consistent. That was consistent. I mean, Josh Jacobs' breakout came at Green Bay, right?
No, he had like
No,
a good like
he had
twelve
like his
hundred 10
three out of
touchdown
his 4
season.
years. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
His
like
best fantasy season was last year, no?
no, it might have been, but like he
Oh,
had
overall,
good
yeah,
years
That's
in
what
with Vegas. He did. He was
No,
a good.
he was a solid running back, right, for Vegas. But I'm saying his fantasy breakout came when he changed offenses. That's all I'm saying.
I
I
don't know if
mean, you
that's
got to pull
true
up the
because
numbers,
his
bro.
rookie
We
year
just
was
talking.
pretty good.
But either
That's fine.
way, also I
He
think
didn't receive
Genty.
the he didn't get the catching workload that he got in Green Bay. Therefore, he didn't get the
Sure.
touchdown equity that he got. So he put up a decent 1,000 yards, probably a 1,200 yard season. But for fantasy wise, he was serviceable. That's all I'm saying. Now he's jumping into a top tier running back that you actually target instead of a mid round dart throw running back, right? He we used to be in the running back dead zone, right? And Genty, he has promise. We'll give him that, but we'll see if that holds up throughout the year. My next person that we want to get kind of a feeler on, right? Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is happening to be in the second round. Some people are getting him in the third round, even. His average draft position right now is sitting at, let's see, he's sitting at about 29th overall, right? So That's right at that 3 turn, right? That 2-3 turn around that area. Thermnation, I'll start with you. Tyreek Hill, is he going to return on his value? Is he going to bust? Is this somebody you're looking to avoid this year? What say you on Tyreek Hill?
I wouldn't say I'm looking to avoid. I think if you can get him in a second, and I'm talking like a late second, not the turnaround, that's a good hell of a value because I think he's going to come back. I don't think he's going to come back with a vengeance. I don't think he's going to hit them 1,900. Well, he didn't hit 19, but 1,700-yard seasons. No, but you can get 14. I think so, and with like 10 touchdowns, and he'll get you at least 5 40+ yard catches. So if you can get him in the second, hell, a third, yes.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. B, how's it looking for the Tyreek Hill? Are you a
I still
fan of
think
Tyreek Hill
it's
right now?
I think it's a good value there for Tyreek, just depending on obviously health and Tua's health also. But
Yeah, I think a lot
but
of
he'll
people are
still be
burnt, right?
the focal point of the passing offense on that team because they lost John Smith and Waddle's inconsistent because of health.
That's
So
right.
I think
I mean,
that's a good return value for second round,
a
especially
lot
second
of
round.
people are thinking about last year, right? Tyreek Hill was battling Jamar Chase for fantasy darling. It was Chase, it was Jefferson, it was Tyreek Hill. They were pretty much going 1, 2, 3 in a lot of leagues, right? The running back love wasn't there. A lot of people were taking them. So you ended up with people that took Tyreek Hill last year, top 5 pick, right? Top 4. And now he's sliding to pretty much a 2-3 turn, right? He's almost sliding into the 3rd round on average. That's kind of crazy to me, just from that fall off. Even hurt, he still put up a decent season. Waddle also put up a stinker last year. So I'm kind of just thinking that maybe the Dolphins offense was just a fluke last year. Hopefully this isn't them going forward. But yeah, I think it's a great value. I smashed that pick, right? So if Tyreek is sitting there in the 3rd round, I'd scoop in a lot of ways
Shit,
in
second
that
round.
particular offense. In the second, I don't know. You may have competition, right? It
I
depends on
mean,
your
it's
build.
That's
competition,
what
It
I
but
depends on
said.
your build,
That's what
right?
I said. Not at the turn, but maybe mid second and late for sure.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's going pick 29, so that's the end of the second.
Yep.
So I think actually that's the middle of the 3rd. I'm sorry, pick 29. So he's going in the middle of the 3rd right now. So he's sliding, to be honest with you. Next up, how do we feel about Brees Hall? There's rumors of, there's a new backfield committee. You got a rushing quarterback in Justin Fields who's looked god awful so far in the Jets uniform.
he is off.
He's looked pretty bad. Preseason's practice, I haven't found one redeeming clip yet that him actually passing the ball. But yeah, Brees Hall, he's saying all the right things in the media, like, hey, this coaching staff didn't draft me. I got to go out there and prove it. He's seeing his other league mates get deals like Kyron Williams, etc., that came in the same classes as him. So how do we feel about Brees Hall currently sitting at pick number 32? That's a late second, 3rd round kind of guy in average draft position. Some have him higher, some have him lower. I would probably say he's probably in that same category with Tyreek Hill, right? End of the second, early 3rd. How are we looking at a Brees Hall? I'll flip it to Thurm first. How do we feel,
So,
Thurm?
so I have a conflicting answer. It's hilarious. So no, I don't want him. I stay away from him. But
Mm.
here's the thing. He's on that. I gotta prove it because I want a contract. And every time one of these guys, especially the skill position, is in that I want it, I gotta prove it, they just go off. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna avoid him. People out there avoid him, but then when he pulls off a 1,400-yard season, feel free to get mad at Pope over there, and
Well, you got
that's
to put it
good.
in. You got to put the claim on it, right? So, are you taking him or are you not?
I
You
said, I
saying
Yeah,
said,
I'll
no.
take
I
him?
said avoid. I said avoid multiple times. I'm avoiding him. I am
Okay,
avoid. I said, but I threw in the exclaimer. I said, hey, when he goes off for the 1,400 yards, 10 touchdown
Sounds
season,
like you're saying
blame
he's going
him.
to be a bust
Or
this year. That's what it
on my
sounds like.
screen, you're over there. So blame this guy
I'm
over
just saying,
here.
it sounds like you're saying Brees Hall is going to bust this year, and that's just what it is, right?
Wow.
B, is
Well,
Brees a
I'm not
sleeper?
saying.
Is he is what's going on there?
Go ahead.
We'll wait. No, we gotta wait. We gotta wait
Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
because
I'm
I
good.
mean it just is
I'm
what
good.
it is.
I'm good. What do you mean? I'm good. I'm good.
I
I'm
already
good.
asked
I'm
the
good. I'm
question to
good.
Brady. Brady's not answering.
That's what
I
I'm
said
You ain't
saying.
even
is
asked it to me.
I
You
said
did.
is Brees Hall a sleeper this year? Is he
Well,
busting?
for a
Is
third
his
round
ADP too
pick,
high, too low? Like what's going on?
so the only thing, well, it's a few things. So for a third round pick, value for him, I think is good, but he's going to be splitting time with Allen. I forgot his first name, and he's pretty decent
Braylon,
rookie.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Braylon. Is that
and
Braylon Allen?
also,
Oh wait, isn't he a wide receiver? Like from back in the day? Not to interrupt you.
no,
Not to
you're talking
interrupt you.
about Braylon Edwards.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Braylon Edwards. You're right. My fault. Go
This
ahead.
guy.
Come on, Braylon. Come on. All right, go ahead.
You cut me off, yo. But like I was saying, so he's be spending time with Allen, and then also, he is a talented back, but
rushing
I
quarterback,
think
right?
Glenn, the new coach, because it's
Mm-hmm.
a new team, and I know Justin Fields is supremely limited and inconsistent, and they only have Garrett Wilson on the outside. So I think they'll future the running game more. So I think he has more opportunity to still
Mhm.
provide decent stats for fantasy purposes in the third round.
Okay, that's not a bad option. So we
Can
have
I just
one that
counter that
says,
real quick?
well, let me circle it up, right? So you're saying that we have one host's opinion that we don't think Brees is going to have that much of a decent season this year. We have one that says I think he could be a potential sleeper, right? So now we're at an impasse. So Jones, you said you wanted to kind of throw yourself back in that ring. What's going on?
I mean, all I want to really say is, what everything B said is completely true.
Hmm.
Um, but I think they'll be. I think they'll run the ball a lot. As far as Justin Fields goes, most of his runs will be from passing plays. Let's just be honest. They'll do design runs, but the design runs I think will do less than him scrambling. That's just his ability. I'm just telling the truth. But ultimately, I think from it, again, I will avoid him because I just don't trust him. But I think from it, he's going to put up a good season that's going to get him paid. But then, unfortunately, he's going to go back to status quo of 700, 800 yards.
All
That's
right.
just his outlook for his career. I think this is the year to have him, but I will avoid him at all
But right
costs.
now he's running back 14 on the board. So
Avoid
I'll pose
because
it this question:
that's like RB2.
Do you think there's 13 better running backs this year, this season, than what Brees Hall is going to put up?
Probably, but can I name them? Probably not.
No, you
Yeah, I
don't
got
got
to
to
see the
name them. It's
list.
just a matter of are you getting a return on your value? You think
Yeah,
no, he should
I
be
don't.
lower. B thinks hey, he might be right at that sweet spot right there. Like
I
that's where
just
you would
think
take him at.
Third round pick for Breezes, I feel like is right there.
and I just feel like that's the reason why I feel like it's high is because it feels like that's RB2, and he doesn't feel like RB2. He feels like a flex. Like because at
Okay.
that point, I feel like in that third round slot, I feel like all the RB1s are gone. You know what I'm saying? And now you're looking at when you're looking at your RB2. At this point, you might not even have an RB1. And do you want him to be your RB1? No. You see what I'm saying? Like there are people at this point in round three, I'm just saying, that might not even have an RB. That went wide receiver, wide receiver. Now they're looking for RB1. He is not someone that I'd ever want as RB1. And I barely even want him as RB2. That's where I'm getting at. He's a flex guy. I take him as a flex any
Okay.
day. RB, and when I say RB, I mean round four. would
So
be
it's a
better.
so it's a bust at his current ADP.
100% for me.
Yeah, that's fine. So a bust at the ADP. Brady, I think you like him at the ADP right now, 32.
Yeah, anywhere in the third, I feel like it's good value.
Okay. Yeah. That's not a bad time at all. That's not a bad time at all. I mean, he's technically RB 17, but he's down further on the list. I'll just throw this name out there, Kenneth Walker, right? So
I'd rather Kenneth Walker.
If Brees Hall was already RB 14, Kenneth Walker is technically 3 running backs after him, sitting at around
That's
pick
enough.
40. So you're looking at the end of the third for Kenneth Walker, right? Is that good value, right? Is that somebody that you think could be a sleeper this year, could be a breakout candidate? Or is it just going to be another disappointing season for Seattle and Ken Walker?
We
Oh,
throw
you
to.
asking?
Whoever wants to take the floor on that one, I'll leave that one open. Do we have any strong Ken Walker opinions?
So,
Well, I feel the same with Brees, but I just know history wise, he's going to miss games, but he
mhm.
still puts up decent numbers when he plays. So if you can understand, like hypothetically, if he's a third round, maybe early fourth round running back, I would take him. He'll be my number two, or he'll just be depending if I did have him. My mindset would be I'm having like 3 or 4 running backs on my team.
Okay, so
So
the
he would
rankings are
be,
kind of right in your
yeah, for
opinion.
me personally. So I
Okay.
think that's good value. But like I said, just know he will miss games, but when he plays, he puts up pretty much decent numbers every year.
All right. So with that being said, Therm, I'll throw you this question and pertains to that, and this is dovetails off of it. You take Ken Walker at the 4th round. Do you double up with Zach Charbonnet? Is Zach Charbonnet your handcuff of the year right now that you think it'll be a good running back option that you kind of stash?
No, I'm not handcuffing them because no, I'm just taking Zach Charbonnet. It'll just be later in the draft. I don't want Kenneth Walker. I don't think he's so unlike Brees. I do not think Kenneth is going to have a breakout year. I do not think he's going to just suddenly become this amazing running back and get this big card. I do not think any of that's happening. I think
Okay.
Zach Charbonnet is a better running back. I do in every asset. I think he's a better. What's his face? What's his name? Or
Kenneth
no,
Walker
not
or Zach
Brees.
Charbonnet?
Kenneth. I think Kenneth is a little bit better as a receiver. That's fine, but I think Zach Charbonnet is better in every other facet. He's a better runner. He's a better blocker. Just slightly better or worse receiver. But I'd rather, if I'm taking the two of them, I'd rather take Charbonnet because I think, hey, it's second and three or second and goal from the three. Let me put in Zach Charbonnet. Get Kenneth out of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll take those. I think he can get like 8 to 10 touchdowns
Well, he is a
solely
bigger
off of
running
red
back
zone.
too. So
That's what I'm saying. Solely off of that. But then ultimately, I think he'll beat him out
You
because I
gotta
think
you
he's
gotta
just a better
trust
running
Sam
back.
Darnold to get the offense in the red zone as well. So
I mean,
there's
yes,
that.
that's true. And then that's another part. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't pop an early round pick, which
Now, granted, he's
I
a
consider a
fourth.
third or
It's a
fourth.
4th round pick, right? So
I'm
it's still
not
a
popping
premium
that on
pick.
Kenneth Walker.
It's in the top four. It's in the top 4 rounds. So you still have
I'll
to
take
spend the top
Charbonnet at
pick
round
for him.
9 or 10 because I think he'll be available and he'll be
Okay,
way better,
that's
or
fair.
at least either be way better or do the exact same amount of damage.
Hey man, Jones is saying basically he's seeing a premium of the running backs at the top of the draft. In the middle rounds, that's the dead zone. Avoid those
Yeah,
guys. Get them
correct.
early or get them late. Don't reach in the
100%.
middle.
100%.
Speaking of in the middle, I'm going to throw out a wide receiver name, and I want you just let me know what you think. He's currently sitting at wide receiver 26, right? So
that's a
he's a wide
DK.
receiver 2. Average draft position is going to be in the 6th round. We're talking about Zay Flowers from Baltimore. Put up good stats in a great
Hmm.
offense. He should be the number one, although they spread the ball around. There's King Henry back there. Lamar runs. Is there going to be enough for Zay to eat this year? But I like where the value is currently at his ADP because I do think that he can overperform some of his peers that are ranked ahead of him. Not by much, but I'd like the bet here. Therm, I'll throw it to you first. Zay Flowers, is this somebody that you think is going to return on that 6th round value basically.
6 rounds, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's good. I could take him at 6. Like if you had said 4 and up, I would have told you H no. And I'm saying that because I don't know what I can say. So H no. But
You've
at
already cursed
6,
multiple episodes,
oh,
Martin.
have I?
Like,
Oh, fantastic.
yes,
All right,
like
well, hell no, hell no, hell no.
multiple
But
episodes.
at round 6, yeah, because at round 6, I more than likely I at least have 2 running backs. That's locked up at
Mhm.
my round 6. At that point, I'm looking for wide receivers. So Zay at round 6 feels like a 3 sleeper 2. Now he should not be anybody's 1. Nobody's 1. If he's your 1, you're in trouble at wide receiver. You're gonna need to make a trade. But it
No, I
depends.
think
If you're running back
like
one,
you're
you need to
saying,
run
he returns the value, right? So if you're in a
yes.
10-man league, this is a 6 round value. If you're in a
Ultimately.
12-man league, it's a mid fifth. So you're right out of that premium pick range if it's a 12-man league. Okay. The Therm says keeping it 6 round. 6 round is the average draft
Right.
position round that he feels
Six.
comfortable taking Zay at.
6 because it just makes
B.
sense because so hold on real quick
Go
because
for it.
first, second, in my opinion, running back. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, mix it up. What's that? Some wide receivers. Grab yourself a tight end. Grab one more running back. Mix it up. That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
yeah, it depends on how the board falls. You could like 3 straight running backs with your first 3 picks, right? And then end
That's
up
all
in
I'm
the
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could end up with Zay
Yep.
Flowers as your 1 at some
Oh,
point, right?
you
You
make a
would,
trade.
but that's why you end up stacking that beginning path. I'll say B. Do you think Zay Flowers can outperform his 5th round value right now between the fifth and the sixth?
Absolutely. He's Lamar's goat. Well, mine is likely in the tight end Andrews, but he's really Lamar's number one. So
Mhm.
he
He's
trusts him more
number
for
one in a good offense beats number one in a shitty offense
he
all day.
trusts Andrews and likely for like touchdowns, but he trusts Zane more
Mhm.
for like third downs and big play moments.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and
My
I
thing
feel
is
like
they
he's
didn't add
only getting
nobody.
better each year.
Mhm.
So and Lamar is
Agreed.
only getting better each year. So they're just gonna continue to improve, in my opinion. So
I don't think they added anybody that's actually threatening Zay's target
No.
share, which was already big, right?
Bateman stepped up though.
Likely's
It's just
hurt.
Bateman. That's all.
Likely's hurt. Bateman was there last year, but Zay's targets weren't
I know.
affected. He still
No, yeah.
garnered a good target share. The only
Sure.
person they added this year was pretty much DeAndre Hopkins, who's looking at like a
I keep
depth wide
forgetting about
receiver.
that.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean, but
see.
it's depth, veteran wide receiver. I don't. He's going to garner some attention, right? But I think him and Zay play 2 different roles. I think Zay will probably be closer to the line of scrimmage in the slot area, so I think that'll be easy pickings for Lamar to just let him cook. If you got DeAndre, that's fine. Keep him on the outside, and we'll go there. Let's talk about everybody's favorite right now. There are 3 wide receivers that I'm about to throw out that are all ranked right next to each other, back to back to back. You let me know who's going to return on value, who you think is going to potentially bust on value,
Thermnation go first.
and who is going to pretty much exceed what you think that average draft position is. Maybe we're too low on them. Tetaroa McMillan, rookie wide receiver for Carolina. Jamison Williams, wide receiver for Detroit. George Pickens, wide receiver for Dallas. They're all ranked right around each other, wide receiver 27, 28, and 29, respectively. Both going after Zay Flowers, by the way. Average, I think it's around round 5, round 6. So Therm, are we too high, too low? Who do you think out of this trio, this group of 3, who's going to actually return value? Who's going to bust? Who's going to end up being exceeding this? And next year, we're talking about them in that Nico Collins first round conversation, stuff like that. It's any of these 3 names make sense for you?
Yeah, none of them are going to exceed expectations. And I don't think anyone. All right, so if we're talking about the bad side, it would just be Pickens, and it's not because of him. It's because Dak Prescott historically just does not target the number 2 wide receiver. It's just
Okay.
it is what it is. George Pickens might give you 800, 7, maybe 6.
All right,
That'd be
keep in
about
mind where
it.
the value is now, right? Like if you take
Yeah,
them at this particular
I wouldn't
round,
do it.
they're a
Not
wide
during
receiver
season.
2 pushing a flex. Who do you think can
Yep.
bump up
That
to wide
that
receiver 1 out of
I'm
those
get.
3?
I was getting there. It was him, Pat, and then who was the other one?
Jameson
That's the one
Jameson
I
Williams.
want.
Williams.
There we go. Jameson, of course. Jameson's the one who's gonna easily outplay his value because he's a speedster. He can catch, and he's just good. He's a good football player. He is. I know it's a new system up there in Detroit, maybe, but it's a new offensive coordinator. But ultimately, Jameson Williams is going to be just fine. He got Amon Ra as well as Laporta to take and Gibbs to take pressure off of them. He's the speedster of the bunch. And he's gonna have his. He's a good player. Like if you're gonna compare him to any speedster, you compare him to that bum out in the Chargers, and James is just way better. He's a good deep threat. He's going to outplay him and then outplay his position. And last but not least, Tet's going to show himself this year. Okay, so he's not going to do nothing special. I don't think. I don't think he's going to 1,000. I don't. I think he'll flirt with it. 900. And he'll have a good touchdown total, about 8. But he will not have a breakout year, rookie year 1. That's my 3.
Who's the Chargers speedster?
I forget that dude. Like Quentin,
Oh, Quentin
Quentin.
Johnston, brick
Yeah,
hands.
that sorry so. Yeah, that
Hey,
boy.
hopefully you rest up
Yeah,
and
see,
get
that's what
get well
I
soon.
mean.
He took a nasty concussion, so get well soon, Quentin. But you
That's
weren't targeted
unfortunate.
in this
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
Um,
not
Jameson
because of that.
Williams, he's going into his 4th year. Obviously, was an early round draft pick.
Mhm.
They already exercised his 5th year club option, so kind of sort of is a contract year, if you will. Trying to get that extension after this one is pretty much where it's going to be at. So to me, stars are aligning for Jameson, but Grady
1K.
out of that. You got Tet, you got Jameson, you got Pickens. How do you feel about any of these 3 or all 3 if you want to go through that?
I think Tech. I think he'll be all right. I don't know. I'm not saying he won't. And
Wide
I don't really
receiver 2
have.
territory right now. Do you think he leans? Do you think he's solid a wide receiver 2? Do you think by next
I think.
year it's wide receiver
I
1,
think
or do you
he'll
think he
have.
goes down to
I
a
think he'll
flex?
be more touchdown dependent.
Okay.
So I think he'll provide good value. I just don't know how much value. But I think will have a good season because CD is going to get majority of the targets. And I understand what Chris says, but I just see it differently. So I think, and Pickens is very talented. He's like really good in my opinion. He just Pittsburgh, no quarterback, cool. But
Okay.
Jameson is, I'm biased, so I like Jameson a lot. I know he's going to cook. He's been cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So the Alabama boys just produced.
Hey
So
man,
if I had to pick one, I'm
I'm gonna
picking
hit it.
Jameson. But I see the potential of all 3.
Okay, so you think all 3? There's not really a bad pick. They're going to return their value at worst,
If I had to
and
go, it would
you
be
got Jameson
Jameson, then Pickens,
exceeding.
and then rookie. Yeah.
Okay. That's not a bad option, right? There's plenty of them out there. I think those are all fabulous options for your like wide receiver 2 flexes. Like when you get into that round 5, round 6, and you're doing your dart throws, those are 3 options that personally I just feel like can all go to the moon. Personally, I'm higher on probably Pickens than most, only because
As I
I don't
said,
think
I
Dallas
don't know.
is I don't think Dallas is going to have a run game this year to really depend
They
on,
will.
nor will they have a defense that's actually going to allow them to stay in games. So if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm doubling CD, which means Pickens just has to win on one-on-one.
You're going to eat. I think you're going to eat.
I think, and granted, this goes against
I
conventional
tell
wisdom.
you,
We've seen Dak have a Robin as a wide receiver, and they don't get fed.
multiple times,
They don't get
multiple
fed.
times.
However,
That's what
every
I'm
single
saying.
They weren't
time
as good
he's
as
had that,
Pickens,
he's had a good,
Okay.
he's had
except
an
for
average
CD his rookie
defense.
year when he had CD and
Every
Dez.
time Dak has had that, he's had an average
I mean,
defense
not
and he's
Amari, not
had
Dez,
Zeke or
Amari.
Pollard as a
CD.
running game. So this is one of the first times we will see Dak truly without a running back, in my
Yep.
opinion, and a first
That's
year
what I'm
head
saying.
coach in Brian Schottenheimer.
West
It's
Coast
So
not
offense,
gonna.
baby, throwing the ball.
I'm trying to
I
tell you,
think Dallas is going to be a mess personally. So I think they're going to be just like how the
it
Bengals
ain't gonna
were
do
last
well.
year, where Joe Burrow's just throwing the ball 60 times a game
Hey,
type
we
stuff.
talking
Like
about fantasy, baby.
they going to eat. They're gonna eat, baby. They're gonna eat. I don't care what they
No,
do in actual wins and
no,
losses.
they
In
won't. I'm
fantasy,
trying.
they're gonna eat.
T. Higgins is like crazy talented, and George Pickens can run a fly route, and that's it. I'm trying
George
to tell
Pickens is
y'all.
crazy talented.
No, he isn't. He is
Yes, he
DK
is.
Metcalf, bro.
No,
He's
he's
DK
not.
Metcalf. He is running flies, bro. That's it.
I,
No.
here's
Show
what I'll
me the
say.
route runner. He runs flies. It's all he's
George
good at.
Pickens is basically a former like 5-star athlete. Like he was
Sure,
that
He a
boy. He's a
dog.
head case.
he
He's a head
He a
was.
case.
dog.
He
For whatever
was.
reason, for
He
whatever
He a
won't
reason,
be.
dog.
I'm just
He won't
He a
be.
knucklehead, but
we
he
will
a dog.
see.
All
But
right.
I'm just saying
Mm,
from an outlook perspective, I
mm.
do think that Dallas will be forced to use their wide receiver 2 more this year than they have in recent memory. So to me, for fantasy, you
Mhm.
gotta love those middle of the pack offenses sometimes, right? Those middle of the pack teams from a win loss perspective, because they're going to
Hold
be
on.
playing in week 17 and 18. Like they're going to be playing late
Hold
for
on.
something.
Hold on. Hold on. You could say that last year. Now I know Dak got hurt, but he got hurt in like week 8. They were ass
And CD
for
Lamb
those
and Brandon
first
Cook
set.
still produce fantasy points.
No, they didn't. What are you
Brandon Cooks
talking
was
about?
a waiver
He
wire
was.
pickup for a while. Brandon Cooks had a good like solid 3 weeks before he got hurt again. Like I'm just saying, they
Oh, okay.
they will,
All
and
right.
it was Mike McCarthy. It's a totally different
Okay.
coach.
You're just making stuff up, bro. They were averaging like 14 points a game, but okay. All right. You're
And
You
right.
could go
CD
look
was
at
getting
Brandon Cooks
majority
scoring
of them.
touchdowns. I'm just
CD did
saying.
his thing because he's the number one. I try to tell you. It like okay. All right.
I
Okay.
hear what you're
They
saying.
got blown out by the Saints. And we talking about
Well, the Saints blown out like the first 3 weeks, so to be fair.
I mean, in real
and
life,
then they lost
we're
every game after they played
Okay, but
Philly.
you just made it seem like they blew that one team out. They blew out 3
They
teams.
only blew out one team when it was the Cowboys. Go and look it up.
They
we're
dropped
we're
like
They did
70
not.
points in
we're talking
They
or something
about
like
said,
that
we're talking about
over three
fantasy.
weeks.
I could
I
care
know.
less what they do
I'm,
on the actual win loss record in fantasy wise.
I'm
That's all
just
we're talking
saying,
about.
Pickens is not going to do what y'all think he's going to do. And it's not because of his talent, it's because of the Cowboys and the way Dak Prescott plays. As I'm just telling y'all the truth.
Not denying it. I think
Well, I
he'll
don't know if
return
it's
on his
true.
ADP. I think Dallas will. I mean, right now he's ADP is a flex, so all he has to do is be better than a flex option. If he elevates that to a wide receiver 2, that exceeds his
That's fair.
ADP. That's all we're looking
Fair.
for,
Fair
right?
enough. Fair.
Um,
That's fair. I agree.
but I think right now, just to shift off of some of the wide receivers and kind of sprinkle some of this like analysis over into the tight end room, I think there's a pretty clear cut like top 3 tight ends, right? One of
Mhm.
them is not going to return the season they had last year. There's Kittle, there's Bowers, there's Trey. How are we going to be able to kind of decipher who is going to return on their value? Me personally, just the law of averages, one's probably not, right? Whether it's injury, whether it's offenses, you name it.
Trey.
Somebody's not going to
Trey
be able to return on that.
Cards.
We have Trey McBride, we have Brock Bowers, we have George Kittle. I'll throw it to B. I'll throw it to you first because I threw it to Thurm first last time.
Pause.
I didn't say I threw it around. We threw it too. That's you gotta stop pausing everything, brother. Goodness gracious. What tight end do you want to go, Mr. Hetero?
To go where? Like, I
Like
think they all will produce.
you think all are going to produce in return on average value? I think
Yep.
that's a good assumption this year. Are you willing to pay the cost for them is the question.
Yep.
Both of them are going at the end of the first, middle of the
Yep.
second. I
Yep.
think Kittle is closer to the 4th round, actually. But the
All
top
good
2 are
picks.
definitely gone before the start of the 3rd round.
All good value picks.
I like it. I like it. Therm, is there somebody, and you can think all 3 will return excellent value. I mean, this is the highest 2 tight ends we've seen consistently go probably since what, Gronk and Kelsey in Waller and those like that. There's always like a trio of tight ends that kind of go early, and then after that, everybody just dart throws, right? Is this a
Man,
good
just one.
trio that you think is going to last this season?
Just one. This is probably not a smart pick, but whatever. I don't think George Kittle will. And I think he's old. I think he's hurt. And I don't think Brock Purdy is. Well, I think he's okay. Yeah, I kind of like Brock Purdy, but eh, I think he's just an average quarterback, and I don't think Kittle's going to have a great year. They're going to need a
All
new tight end.
right, my last one. And we're going to go back into the wide receiver room. This will be the last one that I want to get your opinion on, fellas. Right now, we are looking at Mr. Travis Hunter. It's coming out that he's supposed to play 80% of the snaps on offense, a little bit on defense sprinkled in here and there. Personally, I think he's going to end up being more of an offensive player than a defensive player all year. Otherwise, why would they trade up to get him? Like Jacksonville spent a ridiculous amount of capital to trade up for Travis Hunter. You don't do that to get a part-time cornerback. So right now, Travis Hunter's ADP. If I look it up real quick, no show notes, right? We do this live, baby. ADP 70, right? So in a 10-man league, you're looking at round 7 for the most part, right? You already have a lot of those slots filled. In a 12-man league, obviously, it's going to be a little bit earlier than that. You're probably looking at that 5-6 turn, in most leagues, depends on how aggressive they are. So you already got about 4 people on the roster. Is Travis Hunter going to return on that value? Or is he going to bust? Do you think he plays the whole year? Is he going to exceed it? Therm, I'll put it on you first. What is your opinion on Travis Hunter?
Yeah. In a normal traditional league, I would spend higher than a ninth round pick on him. I mean, you just got
Oof.
to fill out the roster. I don't know how good he's going to be because Trevor Lawrence is already not that good of a quarterback, and Brian Thomas is already a very good wide receiver. So, I mean, I know how dominant Travis was in college, but I got to see it. So I would expend more than the ninth, and then that's it. Actually, yep, that's it.
All right, that's not bad. So you think he's going to fail to deliver on his ADP, aka that's a bust, right? Now for Brady, how are you feeling about this? Like, is this something that you think Travis Hunter can return on value? Is this a steal, or is this are you along the lines of Thurm where it's like,
I
hey,
think it'll be more good value slash steal.
okay,
I think he's a. I think he has really big playability on both sides of the offense and defense, but because he'll be mainly on offense, and I just think Brian Thomas will take predominantly of the coverage. So Travis will probably have like eventually, probably not in the beginning, but eventually once he get like more acclimated with the season, I think he'll eventually have a solid output.
okay, that's not bad. I personally, I look at Travis's shining star is going to be touchdowns, in my opinion, specifically red zone. Because I feel like Jacksonville doesn't have like a red zone wide receiver. Like Brian Thomas Jr. is good, but a lot of it's like in the earlier part of drives where I mean the only other person there right now I think is what De'Ami Brown. So it's like Travis Hunter in the red zone, like if when I just need a play, just like in college, when they just needed a play, they dialed up Travis. And I feel like that's kind of going to be like his niche to start out, right? Under 20 yards. I don't think a lot of DBs are going to keep up with him in terms of just like that quick agility, fresh off the break. Um, but that's where I think he'll be like the quarterback's trusted wide receiver. So I'm not looking at like a huge return on value per se from like a yards or even a PPR if you're playing in a PPR format like catches, but pure touchdowns. I think Travis may he honestly he may be top like a top 4 rookie touchdown like percentage wise. I think he'll be in that top or upper echelon of touchdowns for rookies, just rookies, right? Not total, but out of this rookie class, I think he has the best capability because he's going to get a lot of the red zone stuff.
That's
I agree.
very high praise because I don't agree. I
No, I
think
get it.
there are a number of tight ends that are going to put up way more touchdowns than him.
As a
And
rookie,
What?
again,
Tight ends?
no, I'm rookies. Sorry, rookies, including tight ends, but rookies in
there's only a
general.
few that have like
But
a
if we
clear
talking about
path
specific,
to
are
start.
you talking about specifically wide receivers, or are you talking about any rookie period?
I mean, I'm hesitant to say any rookie period just because running backs are there, but there's only like two with a clear path to start. There's Genty and Hampton. Everybody else is kind of like in a committee and they probably don't start until later on in the year.
I
Like
still
Caleb
think they'll
Johnson
put
is
up
in a
more
committee.
touchdowns.
Travion Henderson's in a committee.
I
Ja'Cory or Bill, right, for the Commanders. He's in a committee. Like there's a lot of
I
committees.
I still think they'll put up more touchdowns than, but not all of them, but like Travion Henderson, I think
Yeah,
they'll
I
put
mean
up
that's
more
fair.
touchdowns than what's his face, Travis Hunter. I think so,
I mean,
easy.
if he starts, like, keep in mind,
But
coaches tend to slow
it'll
roll a
take
lot of
two
rookies, bro.
weeks. Yeah, and
I
Vrabel's
mean,
one of them, but not for the running game.
yeah,
I'm trying to tell you, take 2 weeks. Two
I
weeks.
get it. I trust me, I get it.
Cause your
But
boy, what's his
I
name?
think from if my eyes
Ramondre.
don't deceive me, Travis Hunter in the red zone has been money his entire
Your
college
boy.
career. That's all I'm saying.
That's
I'll
fair.
take the over on Travis Hunter. Just touchdowns. I think he'll have a low amount of receptions, receiving yards, all that. Touchdowns is going to T Hunter, man.
Fair enough.
That's what I. It's between T Hunter and probably Tet. They'll have the most,
Fair enough. Okay. Not mad
but
at it.
sneaky with those tight ends too. Loveland is actually looking like
Ugh.
pretty good if Cole Kmet gets out the way. I
That's
like
what
what
I'm
I saw
saying.
from that
Don't
offense so
sleep on
far.
Warren from Indy.
I'm sleeping on their quarterback situation,
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
the issue. Bro, they might
Daniel Jones
legitimately
hasn't.
produce
Uh,
12 passing touchdowns for the season.
I
And
mean,
beat
They
all
might
the Loveland.
legit.
Daniel Jones
I
and
mean Warren.
AR-15, they just
You said
don't look at
all
the
the
tight
level.
end.
I
Yeah,
mean
could you
Warren.
imagine? I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it's not impossible.
I
It's
like
not,
Warren the talent. I'll put it that way. Warren the talent, phenomenal. Just like Loveland, the
bro.
talent, phenomenal. They both have obstacles. One has Cole Kmet
They,
in his way that just got paid a bunch of money, and the other one has Daniel Jones and AR-15 who can't seem to target a tight end in their entire careers. So
I,
those are my things.
I'm
But
just saying. Mhm.
hey man, this has been a good episode. I hope you guys got something out of this in terms of who we like, how we see some of these different draft positions for some of these players, getting them at a better value that we think you can, right? We threw out a couple of names of where we would take guys, where we wouldn't take guys, and some avoids, and also a couple people we think is going to exceed that ADP. Tune in next week. We'll be doing a draft live, right? Mock draft season, but just to kind of give you a different flavor of some different styles that we think you should bring to your draft rooms on next weekend, which is going to be the big draft weekend for a lot of teams. So, without further ado, we thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
All
Philly,
right.
Philly, 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 Philly.